Yo, make sure you got your paperwork straight. I got Mickey the Truth.
Let's get one thing clear. This your girl, Mickey Truth. South Carolina, 803 to be exact. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So
the loudest is the weakest. Give a fuck about what they scream.
What's up, Truth Team? Listen, hey, I've been struggling with StreamYard today, really trying to get the content out to you guys. I really miss watching this trial with you guys, okay? But a new witness has came to the stand. I believe it's something Barnett, okay? However, I wanted to make sure we got some reaction out of this, okay? So this witness is supposed to be, I guess, the Infiniti expert, okay? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started, okay?
What did you do when you first began working for Infiniti in 1997?
I was a valet. I was a valet while I was going through college.
And in that capacity, would you drive Infiniti cars?
Yes.
After that, where did you end up? Did you ever end up getting a degree?
Yes.
Where did you get your degree?
DeVry University.
And what was your degree in?
Business administration.
Did you get that here in the state of Georgia?
Yes.
Now, after when you first were working as a valet, what was the next job that you had after getting your degree?
With Infiniti or just the next job period?
Next job period.
I was in furniture sales.
What did you do after that?
I went back to Infiniti.
What drew you back to Infiniti? How did you end up back working for them?
Just a familiarity. I had a relationship with the manager at a store, and they kind of asked me to. It was opportunity, so I went back.
Now, when you went to Infiniti this time, what was your job position?
Currently, what I do now, service consultant.
Now, can you explain for the jury what is a service consultant? What all do you do?
I meet with the clients or customers that come in for maintenance or repairs on their vehicle. I assess what the vehicle needs, whether it's check engine light on or a leak or no starting issue. I basically get the information from the client and put that in a manner so where the technicians can properly diagnose the vehicle. Once it's diagnosed, I reach out to the client and let them know what repairs are needed and gain the authorization to fix the car, and then basically handle the client throughout the process on updating them, let them know when the car is ready, payment, etc.
Now,
Yeah,
as
customer
a
service
service
rep.
consultant,
Gotcha.
with what all you just described in terms of your job, what all you do in that job, do you have to have familiarity with?
Now, that's not downplaying it, but I mean, that's pretty much what it comes out to be. It's the person that you see when you first go into the repair shop. Basically, if for those who have actually been inside like a dealership service center, person that's sitting at the front desk, that puts your personal information in. Just saying. I mean, I guess he could be an expert though, because I mean, 1997 is a long time to be in that position. But I'm interested in really seeing how this goes. Let's keep going.
Makes and models of Infiniti.
Yes.
Can you explain for the jury how you gain familiarity with Infiniti makes and models as a service consultant?
Well, we have to do certification tests quarterly to make sure we're certified, and then also just being around the vehicles, you learn and pick up certain common things about the cars, and you have to identify certain things with them to know what year it is, what kind of type of oil it takes. When you're quoting prices, you quote them accurately. So
now, as a service consultant, is your primary focus? Is it true or false that you're focused on the clients that come in?
Mainly, yes. Yeah.
Now, to be an effective service consultant, with Infiniti, do you have to understand the technician side of the business?
Yes, because I have to basically interpret as far as what the client is saying far as sometimes help the technician understand what the issue is. And then there's a lot of terms and expressions that technicians will explain to what's wrong with the car. And sometimes that's not customer friendly for us to understand what actually the issue. So sometimes I have to do some interpretation as far as making it a little easy to understand on what actually is going on with the vehicle.
Makes sense.
Now, Mr. Burnett, jumping back to after you got your degree and you worked in, when you first went back to Infiniti, what location were you working out of?
South Atlanta, Infiniti of South Atlanta.
Is that one on 4201 Jonesboro Road?
Correct.
Now, how long what year was it that you,
2005
and how long did you work at that location?
till 2020, 2021, I'm sorry.
So roughly about 15 years?
Yes.
Now, over those 15 years, how often would you drive Infiniti cars in any capacity?
Every day.
Would you drive them in both daylight and nighttime?
Yes, I've also currently own Infiniti, and I've also owned Infinitis from like 2007 on. So.
Do you get some perks working for Infiniti in terms of owning an Infiniti or buying one?
Yeah, we do get some discounts or considerations as far as with it.
Now, what kind of vehicle do you currently drive?
Q50, Infiniti Q50, 2020 Infiniti Q50.
Now, since you've been working for Infiniti, when did the Infiniti Q50 first come on the market?
2014.
Now, when it first came on the market, how would you describe an Infiniti Q50?
It's a sports sedan built on performance. It was pretty unique in design as far as at the time, it had distinct features.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. My eyes over here looking like it's weird. Like, y'all know I used to sell cars, but like it's one thing to listen to it, it's another thing to like say it. You know, you can say it all day, but I do not feel like a quiz on Infinities. Okay, we get it. He's an expert. He should know what he's talking about. But y'all see me over here like, let's continue.
Features as far as the headlights, tail lights, the front grille were pretty distinctive at the time when it first came out.
Now, is there any Infiniti model or make that is similar back in 2014 when the Q50s first came on the market?
No, there was a G37 sedan, but it looked completely different than the Q50. It wasn't really, it was a whole different design. So
now, is there any significance to the G37 in terms of the name of that car versus the Q50?
No.
In terms of the lettering or numbering?
Oh, well, like far as the G37 was basically named after the engine size. So the 37 is how Infiniti used to distinguish what size engine was in the car. When the Q50 came out, it was the beginning of the rebadging to where all the same models basically had the same. So a Q50 is the sedan, the 4-door sedan. A Q60 would be the 2-door car, and then they identify the engine size by the decal that's on the side of the car, whether it's a 2.0 engine or 3.0 or 3.7 back when it first came out in 14.
Now, you have described a decal on the side of the Infiniti Q50. Is that unique to that make and model?
Pretty unique. You don't see it a lot on other makes. Most makes don't identify what engine size is in the car by any type of badging on the side.
So previously, Infiniti, you would know the engine size based on
the name.
Yeah. And then after that, they put a visual indication of the engine size?
Correct.
Okay.
They were kind of tired of changing names every time a new engine came out. So it went from like G35 to G37, and then it stopped, and then they just changed the badge on all the cars to Q.
That makes sense. Now, are all the makes and models in the Infiniti fleet start with Q?
Correct. Yeah, the cars are Q, and then the SUVs are QX.
Now, you were working for Infiniti in 2014 when the Q50 first came out.
Yes.
Has the Infiniti Q50, does it have a sunroof?
Yes. Pretty much probably 80% of the models, or maybe even higher, have a sunroof. The only ones that don't have a sunroof are the Q50As, and that's on the back of the car. You'll see the A, and that was kind of like the base entry level car, which we didn't sell very many of those cars because they dealerships wouldn't order them because they knew they wouldn't sell them. So
Now, when you said when you went back in 2005, you worked till 2020. What did you do after leaving the South Atlanta Infiniti in 2020?
I worked, I moved a few dealerships around. Initially, I took a job as a service manager at a Nissan store in LaGrange, Georgia. That didn't quite work out.
I mean, why do we care about that? I mean, I know y'all, they got to set the foundation so that he can be deemed an expert, but like, it just seemed like, I mean, he sounds definitely qualified, but why do we need to know what he did after working 15 plus years at an Infiniti dealership when he's basically needed to identify Infiniti? I mean, like, it just seemed at this point. But we're gonna keep going. Y'all know I'm gonna try not to make the video too long. We'll see how far we get.
So I worked at the Nissan in Morrow. Then I went back to Infiniti, different location. I was at the Cobb County location, Nally. And then I worked for Lexus for a short period of time before the Infiniti South Atlanta store asked me to come back. And that was in last year.
So you kind of went full circle back to that South Atlanta Infiniti?
Yes.
How did that come about?
I was up there getting an oil change on my car, and the manager that was kind of like a consultant there at the time, he was just working part-time, he was retired. Him and the current manager asked if I was interested in coming back. I had still a lot of clients that would come through the store asking for me and stuff. So they asked if I had any interest in coming back, and it lined up with what I needed at the time, so I went back.
Now, what do you like about working for Infiniti over these years?
I like taking care of customers. Also like the product.
Hang on just a second. If you hear somebody say objection, will you just pause for a minute while I deal with that? Sustained.
Now, yes,
Yeah, because like,
Mr. Burnett, I'm going to show you what's
Now
been marked as State's Exhibit 459 Yankee and 459 Yankee Alpha.
he looking like, he kind of look a little nervous. If you ask me.
And if any defense counsel, it's
Dun, 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 dun.
Sure.
Now, what is they approaching for now? Crazy. That would be me if I was on the stand. I would be like, twirling around in the chair. Oh, cause you just sitting there waiting like. And at the beginning, he said he took a plane. He came from Charlotte to be here for court. So it's just a little side note. I wonder why Kandera Zachary still pushed back so far. Cause remember, he was supposed to be after Woody. Maybe he's still too ill to come, but we'll see what happens. He don't know where to look. He's just like, doom, 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 doom. Don't look him in the eye. Don't look him in the eye.
the witness.
Oh, he don't wipe his nose.
459 Yankee and 459 Yankee Alpha. Mr. Burnett, what are 459 Yankee and 459 Yankee Alpha?
Both pictures of a Infiniti Q50.
How are you able to recognize them?
The shape of the vehicle, the headlights are pretty distinctive. The front grille and the tail lights are also pretty distinctive. And it also says Q50 on the back of the picture there as well too.
And for your testimony to the jury, would using 459 Yankee and 459 Yankee Alpha aid you in describing a Q50 for the jury? Aid your testimony?
Do you mean that he's helped with this?
Yes.
Yes.
He like,
Your Honor,
what?
at this time, the state is tendering 459 Yankee and 459 Yankee Alpha for demonstrative purposes.
All right, those are admitted as demonstratives.
Publishing States Exhibit 459 Yankee.
Publish.
Now, Mr. Burnett, earlier when you were describing a Q50, what is it? What is the most significant physical aspects of this make and model?
You mean like what makes it stand out the most?
Correct.
I'd probably say the headlights and the front grille.
Now, currently, so you've also had an Infiniti Q50, you said since 2020?
Correct.
How has, since it came on the market in 2014 to present day, has the shape or the vehicle itself changed much?
Not much at all.
Overruled.
Now, Mr. Burnett,
Right now.
does your Infiniti Q50 2020 have, how does the front emblem look? Is it any different in terms of lighting?
There's some options on the newer versions of it, like 16 and up, where you can, it lights up at night when the headlights are on.
Was that a feature when it first came on the market in 2014?
No.
Do you know when that lighting first came into the
In-
Infiniti fleet?
In 2016, when they changed the engine sizes in the car. It went from a
really has
3.7 to either a 2.0 or a 3.0.
Now, is in 459 Yankee, are the rims on the tires, is that standard, not standard? How would you describe those?
Those are standard wheels on it. There's two options. There's the 19s and the 18s. And some have, well, it's three. So 17s, 18s, and 19s. Looking at it, those appear to be the 18-inch wheels that are on.
Now, Mr. Burnett, earlier you had said, you mentioned about when Infiniti got away from naming the cars off the engine size, that they had a decal. Is that correct?
Listen, truth team, this I can't do. I'm over here like acting like the witness. I'm twirling around in my chair. My eyes are going like this. So pretty much, in my opinion, this witness is supposed to be the one to identify if the car and the surveillance footage is actually an Infiniti. I'm kind of at the point like, don't we already know that? Like, we know the Infiniti drove to the store. You know, have witnesses identify it as an Infiniti, and things like that. Y'all, it's just unnecessary. However, it's unnecessary as far as just a person just viewing it, but it is necessary to paint a full picture to the jury. So I will say that because y'all, I mean, I'm not saying at this point with this witness that the prosecution didn't need this witness. It's just they done lagged and took so much time in other areas. It's kind of like drained when you really got somebody on there. I feel like they're kind of going around and around to ultimately just get to where you're trying to go. We have heard from him that he is, familiar with the car and all that, but all this extra, well, what's the difference now? It doesn't matter at this point because what you need verified or confirmed is not a 2020 Infiniti. Anyway, with that being said, that's it for now. I think we'll just start the live earlier in the morning, just in case some things do take place for the remainder of the day. But other than that, I'll see y'all at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. I'm out.
Vehicle was depicted in 292 Yankee between 8 minutes and 30 seconds and 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
It was Infiniti Q50.
Now, I'm going to briefly on the screen, what's going to be published is 292 Yankee Hotel. Let me know when you can see that. Is this a still frame from the surveillance video that we just watched a moment ago?
No. Yes, it looks the same.
Now, can you describe for the jury what stood out to you about being able to identify this as an Infiniti Q50?
The headlights, the way they appear, you also can see the black grille, and it's kind of hard on this one, but as it gets closer, you can see like a little bit of the logo, like the silver reflecting in the front grille area.
And when you mean when it gets closer, you mean when
As it starts to come, I guess, closer to where it, before it goes off the screen.
published in your honor what's already been admitted as 292 Yankee Indigo? Now, Mr. Burnett, is this also I know it's currently blocked, but still framed from the surveillance video that we just watched?
Yeah, that still seems to be the same car, the Q50.
Now, what I'm going to do, Mr. Burnett, is I'm going to replay 292 Yankee at 8:30. You tell me when to stop when you had mentioned the silver emblem, right, as the car gets closer, in your words. So I'm going to play 292 Yankee starting at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and you just tell me when to stop when you think it would be helpful to see that.
Sorry, it's real quick.
It's all right. I'm going to publish 292 Yankee Juliet. What's already been admitted as 292 Yankee Juliet.
You can almost see the reflection of it right in that screen there.
And when you had described, and by the reflection of it, do you mean, what do you mean by that?
It's almost like where I guess the lights or the street lights or whatever are reflecting off of it.
And
you can kind of, like, if you look in between the headlights, you can see there's something there. It's not black like the rest of the grill is.
And you mean the front part of that Infiniti Q50?
Yeah, the logo that's in the front of it.
And when you had mentioned this is this almost basically when you said as the vehicle gets closer, as it's driving off screen, when you reviewed this surveillance video, is at what point from where the car currently is to when it's off screen did you notice that?
Originally, right, well, when you originally played it the very first time we spoke about it, I noticed it pretty quickly. Honestly, the very first time I looked at it, I was just looking at the car. I didn't even see what was going on in the side. And then the second time you raised me back, I saw all the other stuff that was going on with it. So, I mean, as you recall, when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's a Q50. And you were like, how do you know that's a Q50? And we kind of went through the same. I was like, headlights, the grill, and same thing. And then also the tail lights, you can kind of see as it's taking off.
Now, thank you, Mr. Burnett. Now, since March of 2016, when law enforcement came and spoke to you, to present day today, do you have any other knowledge or information or any information about this case that this surveillance video is involved with?
No.
Mr. Burnett, I'm also going to publish 292 Yankee starting at 10 minutes and 40 seconds through 10 minutes and 47 seconds. It's gonna, it's close. Yeah. Mr. Burnett, that surveillance video that we saw, have you seen that angle before?
Today I saw it.
Okay. In preparation for your
Right.
testifying. And in that, what car do you see in 296 Yankee between 10 minutes and 40 seconds until when we paused it at 10 minutes and 48 seconds?
It's the same car from before, it's just a different angle, it looks like. We're seeing more of the back end of it.
And like I said throughout the video, that's my opinion. And if you don't like it, guess what?
I'm like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Hold on, wait, before I go, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me to book your slot. A lot of y'all be hitting me up on Instagram and the email wanting to just talk about content, whether you're an up-and-coming content creator or somebody just got questions about cases or whatever. Book your consultation with me now. The information is on the screen. Hey, make sure you get your slot, because my slots be filling up fast.
Loudest is the weakest, give a fuck about what they scream.
Holla!
Shout out Mickey. Mickey, you gonna be big. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from. They doubted me, but I came up.